what do you think people say to this person on Sunday at the parking lot? A leader of the church or a servant of the church out of his car, walking toward the sanctuary, and saw somebody that he doesn't know, foreigners, strangers, fall down at the parking lot. And this person, the strangers, is really in need. So this person, the leader of the church, he right away stopped, walked toward him, and helped him. And then the consequences of helping these people, he was late get into the church, late to come for the preparation to serve the congregation, late to worship God. Because of helping, doing somebody in need. What do you think people will say to him? The pastor, the elders and deacons waiting, and the congregation, because the service was delayed. What do you think the people will say to him? Now this is the next one, the story from the Bible that Mitch read a while ago. With Jesus together, the disciples walked past by a grain field. And then the disciples took the head of the grain. And then, they didn't say in the Bible, but they ate it like snack. And then the Pharisees who saw them on Sabbath day walking past by the grain and took some grain head and ate it, they said, they not supposed to do that. Not lawful. Doing that harvest thing on Sabbath day. That's the Pharisees said. And then the other things happened in the synagogue. Jesus entering the synagogue and saw one person have a problem with his hand. In the Bible said they cannot do any, something like paralyzed, something like that. And then Jesus said to him, stretch out your hand. The other hand. Stretch out. And then he did stretch out. And then heal that person. And then now, what the reaction of the Pharisees? The people who claim they know very well the law of God, the 5 books in the Bible, Torah, they know very well. And you know what they said to Jesus? They do to Jesus? They come to the Herodians' conspire to destroy Jesus who did heal that person. Had a problem with his hand. For the Pharisees, who hold tightly, firmly the teaching of Moses, their understanding for them, their understanding is the right one. Other people understanding is wrong, are wrong. So for these Pharisees, Sabbath day is a rest day. Rest day. Do nothing for other people. Whatever situation he is or she is, do nothing. Rest day. Doing something for other people against the law of God. Not lawful. That's according to the Pharisees. That's why they criticize Jesus. Criticize the disciples. Not just criticize, even conspire to destroy, to kill Jesus, who healed that man. According to Jesus, regarding the law of God, regarding Sabbath day, according to Jesus, Sabbath day is made for mankind or humankind. Sabbath day is made by the Lord for all people, not the people made for Sabbath day. So the other way of the understanding of Pharisees. For Jesus, Sabbath day is the day to do good for people in the house and people, other people, surround or other people. That is for Jesus. For Jesus, Sabbath day is the day to do good and do not harm people. And do not harm people who are in need. Do good on Sabbath day. For Jesus, Sabbath day made by God to save people. Not to kill people. Sabbath day to make people liberate from suffering. Not to make people who are suffering more suffer and let them die. So, the Pharisees go this way, understanding the teaching, the law of God, and Jesus the other way, according to his Father, who sent him down to the earth to serve God the Father and to serve all people. Let's see about the law of God and the slavery. You know, the law of God, the 10 Commandments, was given by the Lord in the Sinai Mount. Yeah, right? Bukit Sinai. And it was given by the Lord after God delivered the Israel from Egypt. The law of God given by God to the people of Israel after God released, free, and liberated them from slavery in Egypt by Pharaoh and the people of Egypt or Egyptian. That is the background. The law of God given after the slavery period, about 300 years. In Egypt. You know the story. The Israel, they went to Egypt because Joseph became important person there, and he called his father and the other 11 brothers and live and move and live in Egypt in a very rich soil. And they grow there, become big group, big nation. And that's why the Egyptian turn down their life because they more known, occupied, and have good living in Egypt. And they became slaves. No freedom to worship God and no freedom to live physically, being slave, their faith and then their life. So that is the life of Israel in Egypt. And God liberated them from Egypt, from slavery, and then in order to live freely in God gave the 10 Commandments. Worship God, only God, observes Sabbath day, and the rest of the law of God. So, one of the law of God is like this. If you like to open in Indonesian, from the Deuteronomy 5, chapter 5, verses 12 to 15. This is about Sabbath. Observe the Sabbath day and keep it holy. As the Lord our God commanded you, for 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. You shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter or your male or female slave or your ox or your donkey or any of your livestock or the resident alien in your town, so that your male and female slave may rest as well as you. Remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God brought you out from there with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm. Therefore, the Lord your God commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. God wants the Israel not live in the slavery after Egypt. God wants they live with God freely, have a liberation, and on the other side, do not slave other people when they are in need, so they can have a rest and let other people also have a good rest. So, if there is people on Sabbath day, on Sunday, need something to free them from suffering, sickness, or other burden, the Israel have to do and liberate them. That's why Jesus on Sabbath day, when he saw someone sick, he didn't pass by. He looked and said, stretch out your hand and heal. Sabbath day, not a day when you become passive, just take care of yourself. If you like have a good day on Sunday, let other people have a good day also on Sunday. If you like to have a good rest on Sunday, let other people also have a good rest. So if there are people sick in your house on Sunday, do something so he can have good health and have rest. Like you. So Jesus understanding different with Pharisee. Sunday is the day we live, accept how we live, and liberated by Jesus from sins and evil spirit, but also the day we do something to free other people. So how are you today? Okay, you have lived free from sin. You live free from evil. The next question, what do you do with your family surround you? If he is sick, have a problem, you let him live or her like that, or you help to liberate him or her? If we have a friend in the church have a problem, what do? I'm sorry, this is Sunday. Jesus on Sabbath day keep doing what God wants him to do. Do you work on Sunday? Before church? Or during the service? Or after church? Do you do that? I don't know. God knows that. Do you do it in order for you to have a freedom, liberated to live with God's grace? Or do you work on Sunday in order to liberate people who are in need and share what you got? Or you work on Sunday to pile up your check, to collect your check, and to make your account in a bank swollen? And you doesn't care other people. That is not the way Jesus do on Sabbath day. Why God let us come to America? To be slave in America or to be liberated here? Okay. If you full of complaint, tired working, boring at home, you not have a freedom. You get mad to your dad get mad on you, your mom, and the family, tension, no freedom. We are in slavery. In slavery. Jesus said, save those who are in need. Do not destroy like Pharisees. Save. If there are people among us, neighbors, in need, has a problem, do not destroy by the short story and you make a long story. And then you putar-putar cerita and make people, him or her, more suffering. That is not the way a liberated person lives in God. If you do not know about that family and you talk negative thing about that, you are killing people, destroying family. It's not the good thing to do on Sabbath or Sunday and every day. We have to become for other people in need, not become a disaster. Jadi berkat bukan jadi bencana. If someone mourning, dukkha, pass away a loved one, be a blessing to them. Do not be a disaster for the family. Do something good for the family. Do not harm the family. Support the family missing, losing mother or grandma or we are loved in order to love. We are forgiven in order to forgive. We are renewed in order to renew other people. We are given in order to give. If your family receiving blessing in order to be a blessing for other family, get blessing at home, it's blessing to your dad, and so the other way. Parents get blessing in order to be a blessing to the children, and children receive blessing in order to be a blessing for parents. Family become a blessing to those beyond our family circle. This congregation is blessed by God. In order this congregation a blessing for any church. Jesus comfort us in order us to comfort others. Jesus was risen from the dead in order to rise up. In order for us to do good things, not to destroy people in whatever situation. This is the message for you and for me. Amen.